Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance. My name's Alesha and I'll be bringing you a report on the new moon in Libra. That'll be happening on the 9th of October at 2:46 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, what the hell has been going on this last week? So much intensity, so much chaos. So we've had Pluto, the planet that represents death and rebirth, that represents transformation and the soul and the underworld. That planet has just started moving forward, and the ripple effects that have gone across our consciousness have not gone unnoticed. And then we've also had Venus, the planet of love, the goddess of love and relationships, go internal and go retrograde, and that is also happening in Scorpio. So that it's all intensity all round for everybody. There's issues with power dynamics, issues with betrayal. Our old emotions and stuck energy has been coming up to the surface, ready to be cleared. We're having to let go of old relationships and relationship dynamics that no longer serve us. So there's so much going on. So stay tuned and I'll bring you the report. Okay, new moon in Libra. Alrighty, so the sun and the moon are together in Libra at 15 degrees. And at this new moon, it is calling us to reassess and address our relationship dynamics, because Libra has got everything to do with relationships and balance. And it's about bringing about balance and moving forward in a new direction with relationships. This is also a time when we're seeing lots of endings across the board, and also with endings there's also new beginnings. So whatever is ending in your life right now, be reassured that whatever is ending, there will also be a new beginning. And at this time we really need to be diving deep into what we need in relationships, especially with Venus, the planet of love and relationships, going retrograde, and diving deep into what we need. It is really a time to just be getting rid of toxic relationships that don't serve us, especially old structures and dynamics, things that we've learned in childhood or from our parents or from society or from, social media or even movies or any kind of unrealistic way of relating to people. So at this time, really spend some time thinking about what you would need, what you would like moving forward in a new relationship, or like changing your own relationship dynamics with your current partner. Is there something that needs to go? Is there something that needs to change? Is there a new way that you both need to relate at this time? So definitely at this time, it is a time for rebalancing and finding some equality in relationships, and especially relationships that serve us at such a heart and deep felt level. So at this new moon, there are some very intense aspects going on. There's not a whole heap of them, but what is going on is causing a lot of disruption. So this new moon and the sun is making aspects out to Pluto, and that just creates this massive intensity and what we call just like a death and a rebirth and transformation. So like I said just before, there is so much ending going on across the board, and what we're really needing to do is to transform this and make it into something beautiful. And yes, it's a hard time. Yes, we're all really struggling emotionally. Everything just feels so dense. But the thing is, this is coming up to be cleared away. And you know what I mean? Like when stuff is being dug up and, it's all in our faces, it just feels like such a shit show. And you know what? It is. But this is also, it clears. And so we can have such a better life moving forward. And, globally, we're seeing so much stuff coming through and coming up in social media about sexual trauma. And it's so important to voice this right now, especially with Mercury opposite Uranus in Taurus, which means we need to really be getting up and expressing, you know, sexual trauma and how we're feeling and what's not working for us. Do not let anything sit in your body any longer that is not helping you move forward, that's not helping you heal. You're not doing yourself or other people any favors holding or suppressing how you're feeling. So get out how you're feeling, even if you have to write it on a piece of paper, even if you call up someone, even if you say it to them, even if you cry or get angry, get that out of your body. It's time for that stuff to be brought to the surface. So Venus retrograde happened on the 6th of October, and that was quite intense, especially after the massive hit of Pluto going direct. And you know what this is all bringing about is just massive change in relationships and what we're needing moving forward. So at this time we have Venus, the goddess of love, the feminine, relationships, money, making aspects out, which is a square out to Mars, which is the masculine, which is our desires, which is our drive forward. So the masculine and Mars and our drive forward is wanting to move forward now. It's, you know, finished its retrograde, it's finished its shadow period, and it wants to move forward, especially in Aquarius. It just wants to be detached and free and, you know, have its own ideas and do its own thing. But Venus in retrograde in Scorpio wants to dive deep, wants to connect, wants spiritual aspects as part of their relating, and it wants to have that closeness. So we have this freedom, closeness dynamic playing out, this repulsion and attraction. So you might be feeling feelings of, I want to be so close to this person, but at the same time you just want to be, you know, pushed away, like you just want to get them away. So yes, this is playing out a lot as well. So, you know, it is quite an intense aspect, but at the same time, it's showing us what we need in relationships. And you know what I mean? If stuff's coming up for you and you're not feeling a relationship's working for you, it might be a time to let it go. But be aware, for the masculine and the feminine right now, the dynamics are very, very different, especially if you highly identify with the masculine or you highly identify with the feminine. You know, there's going to be these push-pull aspects because what we're needing is very different right now. But it's also, we bring about healing and change, and we've never seen aspects like this happen. Do you know what I mean? Just, you know, bang, bang, bang straight after each other. It's just been such an intense time on the planet. So don't be hard on yourself. You don't have to make decisions right away. Nothing is set in stone. Just take it one step at a time. Do you know what I mean? If something's coming up for you, feel it, go into that, grieve over that, let it go, express it, do what you need to do, and then make decisions moving forward. Nothing has to, you know, dramatically end straight away. It's not the be all end all. You know, we're all here on such a journey. It's, do you know what I mean? So yeah, don't put so much pressure on yourself. And if you're not feeling okay, take the day off. Like, I know there's so many people with mortgages and children and things like that, and they just don't have the luxury of taking a day off. But at the end of the day, you need to serve yourself. And if you need to take time off, you need to take time off. You need to just retreat, even if it's for an hour, and you put yourself in your room and you say to your kids or your husband, I need an hour's break. I need to, you know, meditate, or I need to listen to some beautiful music, or I need to cry. I just need to be by myself. You are so entitled to do that. And, you know, don't let things like guilt come up and, you know, make you feel bad for needing time to yourself or having the feelings that you're having. You know, guilt is so debilitating. I actually think it's worse than depression, because you feel such a self-loathing, and you know, you can't be in that state right now. Like, do not feel guilt for how you feel. Go through the process, go through your feelings, and honor yourself. Be there for yourself. We live in a society where it's just soldier on, and you know, let's not think about what's bothering us. Let's just, you know, distract ourselves with friends, or you know, watching TV or watching movies, or you know, know, hanging out with someone or doing something just to distract ourselves, being on our phones, being on Instagram, being on Facebook. Anything is a distraction, so we don't have to feel how we're feeling. But when we don't do that, that's not self-loving. We're not honoring how we're feeling. So at this time, we are really being called to feel those feelings. So running away and escaping isn't of service, and it's not self-loving. So make sure you find time to be with yourself, because it's self-loving to be with yourself. And be understanding of your partner too. If this is happening for them, if they're not coping, if, you know, they need time to themselves, let them have that time, because it is a time when we need to kind of be coming into ourselves. Even if we are married or we're in serious relationships, you know, we all have lulls and eves and flows in relationships. So, you know what I mean? So you just write out these times and you evaluate what works and what doesn't, and you give each other space, because it really is a time for self-reflection. And if you do want a fantastic relationship, that does involve, you know, time alone. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no fear that needs to be felt with that. And if you are having fear of a partner needing time alone, then, you know, you need to go into those feelings. You know, is it something that's happened to you in childhood where you felt abandoned and you felt like, you know, a parent or somebody in your upbringing just abandoned you? It could have been a friend from school. It could have been a past boyfriend. Okay, with all this intense energy going on, I thought I'd do something a little bit different and do a card reading with one of my favorite decks. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Healing, reconnecting to your true nature. Oh, if it isn't all connected. Okay. Alrighty, so I'll read the meaning for this card, and just keep in mind I'm highly dyslexic, so bear with me. The lady featured on this card has journeyed far and wide, searching for happiness which she has failed to find. Confused and tired, she surrenders and retreats to her inner sanctuary, a space of light inside her heart where she discovers a deep sense of peace. She rediscovers and reconnects to her true nature by letting go of all that is superficial in her life. She reflects on her past and is now able to see what is true and what is false, what is real and what is an illusion. In the stillness of her heart, she hears a whisper, a message of love. Her heart is grateful for her return. Over the past months, you have inevitably steered off course, gradually losing sight of what is truly important, and without realizing, losing touch with the real you. It's time for you to reconnect and rediscover your true essence and your inner child. Stop searching externally, look within, and you will discover the magic. Isn't that interesting, huh? So I thought I'd do something else a little bit different and do the Sabian symbol for the degree of this new moon. Now, if you don't know what a Sabian symbol is, if you're not massively into astrology, the Sabian symbol is the meaning for the exact degree. So every degree in the zodiac has a meaning. So what's happened is a psychic's come along and done an interpretation of each degree. So this degree for 16 degrees of Libra is after the storm, a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. The need to keep in operation steady links between the vast unconsciousness and the ego consciousness. Now, this can be interpreted however you feel that works for you. For me, if we think about it, a boat landing needing reconstruction, I say that because Libra represents relationships, and then water and boats got to do with our emotion. We need to reconstruct how we're showing up in relationships, how we're being emotionally attached to people. So at this time, you know, have a look at what attachments, emotional attachments you have to your partner or people in your life. Are they healthy attachments? Are they attachments that you've learnt from trauma in childhood? Are they attachments that you saw your parents doing? Do you know what I mean? So have a look at your emotional attachments, and especially with, you know, like Venus going retrograde and making aspects out to Uranus, we're really having and getting shaken up about our emotional attachments. Are they healthy? Are they serving us? Are they toxic? Are they causing issues in our lives? And we're really needing to bring about that healing so then we can release these old attachments, because attachments kind of form when we feel like we can't get our needs met, that we have to cling on to something, and it could be manipulated, it could be anything. However you're doing it, could be with helping people, whatever it is, whatever you've done you've got as an attachment or a way that you attach to people, you know, that needs to clear, that needs to be addressed and looked at from every angle. Where does it come from? Where does it stem from? You know, is it coming from pain? Is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from my childhood? Is it coming from society? So yes, it's all about reconstruction. Okay, so that's my rant for the new moon in Libra. It's not a long video, this one, because there's a lot of planetary aspects affecting mine, and yes, like everyone else on the planet, is a really tough time. And I think the best thing that anyone can do right now is just be self-loving. Just support yourself 100% and go with the flow. If things come up and you feel like you need to express them, then get them out. If you feel like you don't want to be around people, if you feel you want to be on your own, honor that. If you feel like you just need to take things slow and stop something or have a break, do that as well. Like, it is such an important time to be 100% your biggest fan and biggest support, because at the end of the day, relationships start with ourselves, and if we don't have a great relationship with ourselves, we can't have great relationships with other people. So yes, at this time, be really self-loving and just be good to yourself and be good to other people, because we're all struggling. It is such a hard time. We're all dealing with feelings of betrayal and, you know, feelings of feeling lost and feeling not connected to, and, you know, feeling, yeah, just alone in general. And you know what, just go deep into those feelings and where they come from. You know, we're feeling so much trauma on a collective level, and it's not even stuff that we could have experienced in this life. It could be stuff from, you know, generations and generations, because we are here transforming bloodlines of what we've come through. So yeah, just be really kind to yourself and take time off, like I said before. You know, like, just spend time with yourself, take time off work, do anything you can do to bring yourself back into balance. And that also means, you know, going outside, going into nature, listening to beautiful music, paying massive attention for what you're eating, and like things like sugar and bread and fast food and food that has no energy, that's just dense food. So anything that you see on the TV, don't eat it. And yes, so it's a great time to set intentions. Write down how you would like to move forward with your relationships or new relationships that are coming into your life. It also is a social time with the sun and the moon in Libra. You know, go out and socialize, go and meet new people when you're feeling okay. Like, it's a really great time to connect, but be careful also as well, because when the sun and obviously the moon are in Libra, we can also be too accommodating, and we're not always honest. So Libra likes to have balance, it likes beautiful things, it likes to have good conversations, it likes everything to be in harmony. But the negative side, or the shadow side to that, is that they aren't always honest about how they're feeling, and they don't allow conversations of unhappiness or things not working. They kind of just avoid it, or just, you know, go somewhere else and do something that's beautiful or nice. So we really need to be being real and being honest with ourselves. Don't skip out on ourselves. If you're not feeling something, if you don't want to hang out with someone, if you don't want to do something, be honest. It's really important to be honest. Don't sit on the fence. Express how you feel. We're all being called to really express how we're feeling. So with all that said, I hope you all have a fantastic new moon in Libra and many soul journey blessings.